Carrying on from our last time, and on to number 10. At number 10, it's The Lich from Adventure Time. Now, Adventure Time is a pretty interesting show. Oh, about a boy and a dog who go on these weird adventures where it's all over a alternate Earth. And, with every good thing that happens in the show, there has to be an equal and dark side. That is the Lich. Or the Lich King, if you want to be technical. To me, the Lich is like what would happen if they made the poor king from the Black Cauldron more intimidating. His backstory is that he was defeated by the hero Billy in the episode His Hero. And since then, the Lich has made 6 major impacts on Ben and during the whole series. In the episodes Mortal Folly and Mortal Recoil, he returns after a snail breaks his prison in a petrified amber. Really? And in Mortal Recoil, he possesses his Princess Golden. You note, when the Lich possesses something or someone, he makes him demonic. Like, and yet, he possesses the snail that released him. It's not until, well, the first, wait. It's not until, near the end of the episode, King Worm, is when we see the Lich again. And as Finn tries to conjure up his greatest fear in order to defeat the King Worm's evil spell, and to keep him asleep. One of them just so happens to be the Lich himself. And would you be afraid of him too, after what you know what he can do? And so on and so forth. We don't see the Lich until the episode is entitled in order, The Lich, then the Human, and Jake the Dog. Which, by the way, is a 3-part episode. But if you're wondering. In this one, the Lich possesses the body of his mortal enemy, Billy. And tricks Finn and Jake into collecting crown jewels all over her ooh, in order to open a portal of the heroes in Kyridian. This portal will take him to another dimension where a being called Criswell will grant him any wish he wants. And what does the Lich want, you may ask? The extinction of all life. It's funny though, we don't see the Lich again for the last talking until alternate universe Finn, possessed now by Ice King's crown, gets Jake out of a pool of radioactive sludge. Whereas then Jake is possessed by the Lich himself. And I gotta say, it makes it better for that way. Funny. I've never seen Finn possessed by Hudson Abadir's amulet and Yellow Ice King's crown, but not by the Lich. Cartoon Network, get on it. That and when I see Jake or the clown and then before I get off the tangent. The Witch. If the Horn King is considered Disney's darkest villain, then the Witch is the same for Cartoon Network. Moving on to number 9, in which is Audrey 2, from Real Shop of Horrors. Here's a question for you. Oh, ready? Here goes. What happens when you cross a half-glass, a piranha, and a mass of tentacle-like vines? You get an alien plant that wishes to devour humanity and will stop at nothing to achieve its goal. Well, this is Audrey 2. So by far the most musical of monsters, especially on this list, as you'll see later on. And Audrey 2, who is a strategist, if you will. He comes out of nowhere, gets adopted in this flower shop employee called named Seymour Krelborn, and refuses to grow up until Seymour cuts his finger. So, this gets the idea that the plant feeds on blood. So basically Seymour feeds it for, I think he said, a few weeks. Or, how he says about, as big as the Fisher Price, a small car. And you know which one I mean, the red one. They didn't know ones were about this big. Then the plant begins to speak. Basically, tell Seymour in order for it to survive, it needs blood. Problem. Seymour's body is basically dry at this point. So, where is he going to get it? The answer comes in the song Evening Get It, where Audrey 2 tells Seymour that honestly, there are a lot of people in the world who deserve to die. At first, Seymour is reluctant to feeding someone to a talking plant. It is until he remembers that the woman he named this plant after is in love with a sadistic dentist, who, by the way, is kind of big. That torture to get my breath. So, between Seymour decides, you know what? I've reached a good friend. He's gone. And Seymour B, dentist becomes plant food. And all goes well up until Seymour's boss just finds out what happened. That's when we're introduced to Audrey 2's second song, Supper Time. And where he ends up actually eating the boss. This instance, the owner of the shop is technically gone. And Seymour automatically inherits the shop. And things go perfect, like all hunky-dory. Until the plant starts noticing that Seymour's paying more attention to Audrey 1. And like what my brother and I mentioned before in our top, what was it? Top something non-Disney song, villain songs, was with Hot Tub of Horror. The plant becomes incredibly jealous and tries to get rid of its namesake. In the reprise of Supper Time. Now, well, No Shop of Horrors, I found out recently, well, few years ago, actually had two different endings. One ending is when Seymour defeats the plant by electrocution, and in this alternative ending was that the plant that beats Audrey 1 and Seymour, this traveling salesman sells pieces of the plant in all over the country, and unfortunately becomes the biggest mistake imaginable. And by the way, if you're wondering which one's the best song of Audrey 2, it's Mean Green Mother from Outer Space, which is when the plant basically announces what it's planning to do. Nothing else more I can say except this. Audrey 2, whatever you do, don't feed the plants. On to number 8. Number 8 is something a little different than what you would find on any other list. Number 8, it's from the land down under, it's the Bunyip. Australia, as we all know, is one of the strangest places on Earth. So strange that it got the nickname Oz. I mean, it's known why. It's home to the most venomous animal also on the planet. It has the worst infestation and the pests. Mainly being rats, rabbits, and marine toads. And from their history, and well, in their case, prehistory, the Aborigines or natives have come up with some of the most interesting monsters. The most infamous of these is the Bunyip, which is said to lurk in swamps, fill bonds, and waterways of Australia. Translated, the word Bunyip is an Aboriginal Australian meaning evil spirit or devil. Now, when searching for images of the Bunyip, I've come across a lot of them that look weird, but none as strange as when I found the video on the Bunyip song. And the Bunyip is mentioned in a couple of songs that I can think of. One is an old folk classic called The Bushman of Bunyip Billabong, which, by the way, you should check it out. But it's pretty funny. In the song The Bunyip Moon, from the 1977 animated film Dot and the Kangaroo. Now, the bunyip is also said to be the cause of why there's a certain type of animal around. And if you don't know what I mean, I'm referring to the black swan. As stated in the legend of the bunyip, two aborigines go frog hunting or fishing, I forget what it was, and they come across a baby bunyip. They decide they would take it back and hopefully can make a better meal. And this kind of pisses off the mother. And he'll have no fear of they're going after the ones who took his baby. And then its rage, it causes a flood that turns the Aborigines into black swans that we now have. There are speculations, however, that the bunyip that may have actually existed, but in the form of a giant prehistoric wombat. And this was when Australia had another monster roaming around it, an actual dragon, the bunyip, a monster created as some Aboriginal Australians' worst fears. About halfway done, and with the list, with that, let's go on to number 7. Now, before I get to number 7, I want to take this time and introduce you all to a very interesting author and writer, Lewis Carroll. This name should be considered familiar to you, as this is the same guy who originally wrote the story of Alice in Wonderland and Under the Looking Glass. But growing up, about is a particular poem of his. The title, Jabberwocky. And if you're still curious on what number 7 is, at number 7, it's the Jabberwock. The Jabberwock has been portrayed in many forms of media. And I have a few examples. First, there's the one, and of course, from the poem. And the illustration actually looks pretty scary. But onto the examples. And these are going to be considered the worst depictions of the Jabberwock. The first one comes from a live-action and play movie called Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. And if you've seen Honey Toon and Jimmy Toon Moore's next top 11 childhood scares, they talk a little bit about this particular Jabberwock. Basically, it's like a stereotypical dragon costume. The second example comes from a film called Jabberwocky, directed by Terry Gilliam, who was also one of the members of Monty Python's Flying Circus. And we don't get to see the actual monster until the end of the film, and the result is very disappointing. one version of the Jabberwock idea that I consider to be the best when compared to the original book illustration. That's from Tim Burton's adaptation of Alice in Wonderland. Like Spawn the Dragon from The Hobbit. This particular Jabberwock has kind of a bit of a backstory. As the Mad Hatter tells Alice what happened after she left. And makes this Jabberwock scarier than the others. It's basically what it can do and its voice by. The only thing left I can say about this is the Jabberwock. Beware the Jabberwock. See you in part